Hi, everyone, and welcome to the AwardsWatch Oscar podcast. I am your host, Eric Anderson, as usual. And today with me, I have two Gold Rush gang members in Chris Pepper and Jason Osiason. Hi, guys.
Hey!
Hello.
And we have a very, very special guest today. We have Nathaniel Rogers from The Film Experience. Hello, Nathaniel.
Hello, everyone.
I've been a big fan of Nathaniel for a very long time. He's been doing this for about 65 years, so he definitely predates me on that. But no, we love.
I'm the untitled Howard Hughes. I'm Howard Hughes Warren Beatty project. I'm so damn old now.
Exactly. So it's really a treat to have you. I read you religiously and love you and think you're awesome. So I'm super stoked to have you. Anyway, okay, so let's get down to business. What's today? Today is Monday, May 4th. So we're just, a few months into this year, but we're already deep into Oscar predictions as we do. And just this morning, we released the Gold Rush Gang's May 2015 predictions for just the top 8 categories. We haven't really ventured into the tech categories. I know you do, Nathaniel, a little bit, and we probably should sooner than later. But let's jump right into Best Picture, because even though we're only 2 months into really getting our predictions at AwardsWatch gathered, we have kind of a consensus forming already really, really quickly. And I know it's going to be different than yours, Nathaniel, but we've had the same top 5 films for the last 2 months, and that's Joy, Bridge of Spies, The Revenant, The Danish Girl, and Carol. And I know that you have, looks like 3 of those 5, and then you've got some interesting choices as well in your top 5. What do you have, Nathaniel?
I don't tend to think of them as in order at this point, but the top tier, I have
Yes.
Danish Girl, The Revenant, Brooklyn, Bridge of Spies, and In the Heart of the Sea.
I think I'm most intrigued by the In the Heart of the Sea prediction, and I'm guessing the release date change was a big flag for you, the positive.
Yeah, it was that, because it seemed like an ideal release time for what everybody supposed it would be when it was March, I believe.
Yeah.
Originally.
Yeah.
And the movie was clearly finished, so it wasn't a situation of it not being ready. It was definitely finished at that point.
There was something that was giving me Unbroken vibes with this, because it was Universal, and I mean, a year in advance we had 6-minute trailers of this almost totally completed movie, and I don't know. And I say that as somebody who, from the very beginning, was pushing Unbroken to win. So I know my fault there. But so. What are you looking at it other than that as such a major contender?
You have to, at this point, you have to go on hunches. It's silly to assume that anything is locks or anything like that. So I just felt, combined with the release date change, with the fact that Ron Howard hasn't been in it for a while, and I absolutely do believe that people have waves of fandom within the Academy, and when they haven't been around in a while, sometimes they come back.
Exactly. Cool.
So it's more of and it's more of like looking at once I lay out my initial predictions, I always go back and double check what I've sort of predicted in terms of the studios.
I was just going to say that.
And since Warner Brothers, I was not feeling a lot of their other things in that way, and so I just said, well, they've got to have something. So that's why.
Okay.
Well, there's Our Brand is Crisis, but that's about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us are hanging our hat on that as the only potential, and that's even if it comes out this year. But I know both Jason and Chris have some interesting picks in their top 10 as well, including one film where they're the only two of the Gold Rush gang that have it. So I think I'll let them speak a little bit because, most of this group of 10 has a lot of, similar picks, just maybe in a different order. And then there's a lot of outliers and single votes and stuff. And then Jason, of course, has the wackiest list of anybody.
Wacky is good this time of year.
It is.
You should keep your mind open.
It is. It's hugely open looking at Jason's list, but it's great. And if you look at everybody's predictions, alongside each other, his is the one that definitely stands out. So it calls attention to itself, and you kind of have to pay attention. So I'd like to hear a little bit from you guys on the movies that you are looking at this point in the year, obviously in May, to make an impact. Chris, how about you first?
I'm actually close to joining him on Star Wars, but that's funny as it sounds. But I know you're talking about Youth. I just put it in the past couple of days. As soon as they announced that Fox Searchlight picked it up, I pretty much put it in straight away.
Yeah.
The fact they picked it up about a few weeks before Cannes pretty much tipped it for me.
Yeah, I'm super curious about that too, and Jane Fonda and Michael Caine, and just what could actually happen with this. It would be kind of cool.
Fox Searchlight, they have a lot already. Nothing too substantial that I'd say is as strong as when they had 12 Years a Slave or Birdman, and now they picked up something that could possibly win the Palme d'Or. And it's not like they're buying a foreign language film. This is English language.
Yep.
So I expect big things out of Cannes from Youth.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on that really close. I'm not quite where you guys are.
The story sounds Academy friendly too.
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well. But yeah, so Jason, you do have Star Wars in there. You also have I Saw the Light, the Hank Williams biopic.
Oh, yeah.
So
Star Wars. Okay. Okay. Star Trek hit the Producers Guild, hit the Writers Guild. It was universally acclaimed, and that was just Star Trek. Star Wars is a film that the whole saga already has Oscar history, and I expect really big things. They gave it the exact date Avatar has as well. I think like December 17th. And I just think it's going to be a universally acclaimed film. Box office has a lot of respect. The cast is very respected as well. I have a lot of faith based off the footage and trailers and photos shown.
Yeah, no, I can tease you about it, but they're all really good reasons. Nathaniel, I was going to ask you something, because we were just talking a little bit about when you're looking at the breakdown of, potentially 10 films and what studios those are coming from as a part of it. Looking at the breakdown of the nearly 20 movies that the Gold Rush has in contention, it also looks like there is the potential for a lot of box office this year. And what do you think the box office factor for this year or any given year is?
I'm sorry, your voice cut out. I didn't catch the question.
Sorry. I was asking what you thought the impact of the box office from this year is going to be on a potential Best Picture nominee.
Well, I really think box office is overstated in terms of Oscar discussions. I think it's completely film dependent as to whether or not it's important that your success. Mm-hmm. Obviously something like Star Wars, if it's not, if it doesn't own the world, it would not be considered. And so when you have anything that's in one of the populist genres, you have to be a success to be something they take seriously. But if you're a smaller film, the rules change, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, like, obviously Star Wars box office will be great. So if the movie is great or people perceive it to be great, then, I could see it having a shot. But my hesitation about it is mainly J.J. Abrams, just because, he makes very competently directed movies that people like, but I don't think they ever view them as, like, great or resonant. Mm-hmm. Beyond, like, being excited about them when they open. Yeah. That's just my sort of feeling about it.
Star Trek hit really close. I feel like it barely missed. And, I don't know, I just have a good feeling. Mm-hmm. And you have the original writer with Star Wars 2 on it, as a co-writer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the potential for it is definitely there. It's going to be a really wide net of a year.
Right. I mean, a good comparison point might be Skyfall. Because if you're a series that has been around for a long time, you really have to knock it out of the park or be sort of a cultural phenomenon if you've been around a long time and they suddenly want to think of you as Best Picture. Because Skyfall clearly almost made it.
Yeah. And, I mean, with acting, too. I mean...
Yeah, and that's
closer than we would have thought.
Yeah, and that's like 20-something movies into their franchise, so...
Yeah. Just unlike James Bond movies, you've had a Star Wars film hit Best Picture before.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, yeah.
True. Well, it doesn't matter because Furious 7 is going to win Best Picture, so it just none of this even really matters.
Yeah, where's Vin Diesel on your list of your Gold Rush?
He's in Invisible Ink, so... you just can't see him. I want to ask you, Nathaniel, about you have Joy and Carol in your tier 3, mm-hmm. And what's the and I'm only asking because it's so opposite of what AwardsWatch has, and so I'm curious where the middle is.
Well, my thing, of course, I got a lot of flack about this from readers.
That's fine.
But my thing with Todd Haynes is one of my all-time favorite filmmakers, and people are like, you're so mean to Carol, and you're rooting against it. And I was like, predicting is different than rooting for. But I don't think the Academy has ever fully understood his movies.
Yeah.
And so I just, like, the idea that it was going to be this huge change with how Oscar felt about him, I don't quite get. And so I'm just sort of waiting to see what the Cannes response is.
Yeah, and I mean, I know...
And it would have to somehow be different than the normal response to his movies critically, which is, oh, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's sort of where I'm going with it, is that we kind of keep seeing all of these directors, like Paul Thomas Anderson and the Coens, that... began so fringe and then, slowly gathered steam with the Academy until they had, big breakthroughs. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of thinking if it were ever going to happen, it would be this.
Right.
But I don't know, maybe...
Well, that's a great comparison point. My only issue with that is he sort of like took a hiatus from movie making, so I think whatever momentum he got from Far From Heaven, I think, is long gone.
I agree.
In terms of the Academy. Yeah,
I can't say that I would disagree, even though I have it at number 2 right now. But that's it's May.
Mm-hmm. And my thing with Joy is probably stupider, but I sort of have this thing where the people who are recently in the Oscar discussion, like, all the time, I sort of just have this stubbornness that I just don't want to assume.
Yeah.
Because I see everybody else assuming.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, there's no filmmaker who's nominated for Best Picture every time. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And so, like, when people have a streak of good luck, everybody assumes that luck will continue forever. And I guess I'm just being stubborn about it. It's, who knows, it might be the one that finally wins him, the Oscar.
No, it's I can't disagree with your you've got your pros and cons there, and your but can this streak really last forever? Makes a lot of sense. It's like, how long is it a safe bet? And in what world are we living in that Bradley Cooper can be a 4-year-in-a-row Oscar nominee? Like, how is that even possible?
He would tie Marlon Brando.
I can't even, that's what I mean. Those should not be side by side in a record book. It's just not fair. I don't know. It's just,
and I guess also the Christmas thing threw me a little bit with that, because I don't like, even though we're talking about In the Heart of the Sea, you know, getting moved, and so it's suddenly like an Oscar contender. I actually think Christmas is a bad week unless you're going to be the thing.
Well, I'm still completely confused by studios running everything at Christmas time in their Best Picture hopes when there hasn't been a Best Picture winner from December in 10 years. Mm-hmm. Like, what you know?
I think it's just, you know, this self recurring prophecy, and they've played that for so long that everybody still thinks of December as the way to go.
It is. It's a prestige time, and Christmas even more so.
Well, yeah, and you make a lot of money, regardless of whether or not you get into the Oscar game. It's a good time of year to make money.
It is. Kids are out of school and vacations, and yeah, it absolutely is that. But I don't know.
But I think my thing with Christmas this year is I think Star Wars is going to drown everything out.
Yeah,
that's sort of my feeling, is that how much oxygen they're going to be in the room for anything. I mean, Joy might be the only thing people pay attention to because it's good counter-programming, because it's huge stars. But it just seems like Christmas is especially dangerous this year with what you guys are saying, with all the like build-up of Star Wars.
There is,
and the Oscar history of Star Wars.
Yeah, and you've got something like the Revenant, which is going to be competing directly with, you know, the male box office, even if they have dramatically different, you know, ratings and whatever. But they'll still be competitive. And then whenever the Hateful Eight decides to come out too.
Right, which I'm assuming Christmas.
I am too. I think they're going to play it exactly the same way as...
I think it's rumored for like January. November.
That would be good. I think it would be better to get it out of the way.
I'm just hoping could still be moved up right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could. I'm assuming they'll keep that because they'll be hoping for the sort of American Hustle thing.
I hope they're not hoping for a repeat of American Hustle. I mean, it was
what?
Great.
Did I say something wrong?
No. I mean, it was great for nominations, but it just kind of.
Well, that's the thing with December. It's a really good time if you're nominatable in any way.
Yeah.
Like Unbroken got nominations. Yeah. Not big ones, but.
Yeah. It did, yeah. It did. Oh God, I'm still so burned by that.
So like if you had opened Unbroken in the summer, it would not have those 3 nominations.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I don't know. I gotta.
Or 2, or however many it had.
Yeah,
which is probably why they're opening up that Ron Howard movie.
Touche.
I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool. I want to talk really briefly about Bridge of Spies too, with its new name change, and there hasn't been a Steven Spielberg film since Lincoln, and you know, even though it's only 3 years in, you know, the life of a director, having a movie out can be, you know, pretty huge. So it can almost be seen not as a comeback, but it's like, oh, okay, there's finally a new Spielberg movie out, and I know. Nathaniel, you have it in your top tier. We have it pretty high too. It's the number 2 film right now for our group. And is it just completely, are we basing all of this on who's in it and who's making it?
I assume so. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, it has all of these fantastic, you know, elements that, when put together, seem like, you know, this is a perfect mix. Mm-hmm. And it's got a good release date. And I think Cold War is a really great era right now. So it feels really good.
I don't like the Coens rating. I like a revised draft.
You mean like they did with Unbroken?
Yeah.
You have Spielberg doing it, so prospects are higher.
Angelina Jolie again.
But it could be another Warhorse, maybe.
It certainly doesn't seem like it's going to be like that. But
the Warhorse did really well with the Oscars. So.
It did.
Didn't get director.
Yeah, but it's still...
Or acting.
Got a very healthy... Yeah, but that was never going to. But for Jeremy Irvine? The horse?
What was the horse's name again? Joey? Was that the horse's name?
Oh my god, was it? I would have nominated the side-eye that horse gives in the movie. Because that was amazing.
The Coens have yet written a standalone movie that they haven't also directed that has been successful, I think, right? Nothing yet. I mean, critically.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't.
I know Gambit and Unbroken and some other one I know that was pretty panned.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really looking to them as being like, oh, okay, well that's what's going to make this a big player. I don't know. Oh, should we talk about Sicario? Hopefully.
Oh, I'm noticing none of your people chose that.
I know. Yes. Yeah. But it's funny, we for anyone listening, we run our predictions in Google Docs, and so you can change them at any given moment, and then it'll update on the website, and it's pretty fun. But whenever we do one of our podcasts, I can see everybody's little colored box frantically moving around and changing numbers as we're talking, which always cracks me up. But so yes, let's talk a little bit about. I think I'll just call it Sicario right now, so I don't end up having to sound super silly.
The internet taught us Sicario.
Yeah, Sicario. And so this is Lionsgate. It's got a September release. It's going to be at Cannes. The buzz on Benicio del Toro's performance is huge. So where is it? What is it? I don't know. Even with all of that, I don't feel like I have enough to go off of yet. But
yeah, there's not a lot to go off of yet. I was sort of my first draft of my picture releases. I was like, oh, there's something missing, and then I heard this little comment that Villeneuve, I don't know how to say his name, that he made about that he thought it was his most accessible and best movie.
Okay.
And you shouldn't trust what directors say about their own work, obviously, especially before the movies come out. But I just thought, it seemed like the perfect type of thing that was missing from my list, because something that wasn't immediately apparent as Oscar bait, but if you really sort of turned the way you were looking at it, you'd be like, and so then I started thinking about Sounds of the Lambs and the lone female who's in this very heated, suspenseful thrills with very dangerous men, and I thought, okay, I could see it because Emily Blunt is due for a huge breakthrough forever now. And I liked Prisoners a lot, and I love his short films are amazing. So I thought at some point he's going to become a director too.
Yeah,
that Oscar's going to glom onto.
Yeah, I think those all make complete sense to me, completely. But I don't know. Again, it's just one of those. I can't wait to hear things from Cannes and to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, even after hearing the buzz about Del Toro, I'm just going to wait until Cannes to hear about the film. I think
that was my feeling about Youth, but you guys are more gung-ho on that, but I was like, I need to hear the Cannes buzz before I think about it.
Yeah, I definitely do too, because it's gonna, I think we'll find some...
Well, I think that's more likely to be critically praised, though.
That's true.
let's see, what else do we have that we need to talk about? The Danish Girl? Should we talk about
Freeheld, I noticed none of you.
I was going to get to, because I know you have Freeheld and Suffragette together, and I wanted to talk about both of those just in their timing and their issues and stuff. And actually, we could probably put the Danish Girl in that conversation as well, because we're talking about issues in all of these movies of everything from, gender equality to women's rights by themselves too. So I think the three of those might be reasonable enough to talk about together. But then there's the Danish Girl and Suffragette both coming from Focus. So where will their allegiance lie, or do they need to separate it at all? Okay, silence.
It's tough to know. Not every studio throws all of their movies under the bus if they get hot for one of them.
Yeah.
Some studios try to run a few on the table.
Yeah.
So it is possible to have more than one.
Oh no, absolutely.
Pushing.
They could do that, and they're opening in a month apart from each other, which is really good.
And I love the idea of Eddie Redmayne and Julianne Moore both again being
I know
being sort of in the mix.
It's awesome. I love it to death. I know people are horrified at the idea of Eddie Redmayne being a potential back-to-back winner.
Yes.
Yeah, which they should have. Obviously, but
yes. But how fabulous would it be if this year Eddie Redmayne gave the Oscar to Julianne Moore again, and then she gave it to him? It would be fantastic. I think it would be super. But I guess let's talk a little bit about the Danish Girl. I think the timing and topicality of it is tremendous. Trans issues are huge this year. So I think it has the potential to be a bit of a breakthrough film. I hope it does, but it's also Tom Hooper, so I don't have super high expectations, to be honest. I just don't.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, it's a shame Tom Hooper's directing it.
Yeah. And it's so crazy to think that this was originally going to be Nicole Kidman, and now it's Eddie Redmayne. It's not what I would have expected, but from the set, pictures that we've seen so far, I feel pretty good about him in this. He seems very natural in drag. So
but it's going to be a tough one to talk about, because politically, saying that he's in drag when a trans woman is going to be a thorny issue, not just for people talking about the movie, but for Eddie Redmayne.
Yes.
Because that it was easy for Jared Leto to get away with it, because people weren't. The issue has become so much more mainstream that I think people are now more sensitive about things like that. Just within that brief amount of time.
I think so. I think so too. And there will be plenty of misrepresented language and misappropriated language, I'm sure. Probably mostly from Fox News, if they ever have to review the movie. But I think you're right. I think it will be a much different situation than even a year ago, of being able to know how to talk about trans issues and doing it with a sense of responsibility and respect, and not, oh my god, it's Eddie Redmayne in a dress. The silly factor will be removed in a way that it hasn't really been before.
Well, yeah, and Eddie Redmayne's better about talking about those things too, as well.
Sure.
He's played a lot of gay characters, and
yes,
he's unlikely to make major missteps there. I don't think.
Oh no, I don't think he would. I'm thinking more of just really mumble-mouthed people on
right,
and that are just disastrous. You know. Let's look at suffragette a bit. That's something that now Focus has, so people have taken it really quite seriously. And obviously voting rights and women's rights are, again, an issue in this country in 2015. So what type of impact are we looking for these issues to have on this movie?
It looks like it's going to be a really big year for women as well, so it could be quite timely in that regard as well.
Yes, I agree.
And it leads it. It's on top of every other movie about women.
Mm-hmm.
Focus has 2 movies that focus on that. Focus. And it actually reads to me as a Best Picture winner, a possible one.
Wow.
To me, like it reads to an important
that's
film
great.
that hasn't been tackled yet on film.
Yeah,
which is insane and interesting.
It is. And
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and just for those that don't know, it is a British film, and it is British women's right to vote, not U.S. But still, it's an easy jump to make. But yeah, I think they're both going to be just right topics at the right time. And then Freeheld is true story, Oscar nominees, Oscar winners, and
That's from the director of Nick and Nora, right?
gay rights. So of Nick and Nora. Is it? Who? I don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think.
I love him. I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
Which is one reason I have faith in the movie.
Yeah.
His debut film was such a huge favorite of mine, and still so many people haven't seen it, but it was so sweet and heartfelt and naturally, like you could feel that he had a real voice. And so I know that people don't take him seriously yet, but I think he's great. Peter Stollett.
Awesome.
His first movie is called Raising Victor Vargas, which I still always recommend to people if you want an indie that feels like a true indie and that's completely, its heart is right out there. It's such a good movie.
Oh my god, I love that movie. I totally forgot that was him.
I feel like I could see Freeheld take like a douse, possibly. I mean, like due to popularity of its important. Like, see,
yeah, I could see it's doing well too. I mean, I don't think that we are stuck in this area now where films with gay content as its main theme are as sidelined as they were. I think it could be a plenty big breakout in terms of indie breakouts.
Well, plus these are all, lesbian films.
True.
Which is easier for people.
It is.
Yeah.
It is going to be quite a lesbian a year. I'm sure there will be plenty Year of the Lesbian articles come like October, November.
Yeah, cue think pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Just go ahead and get them started.
Write your early drafts of the articles now.
Yep. Yeah, I do think it's easier, but also too, it's when looking at them side by side at Carol and Freeheld, they're going to be on opposite ends of the spectrum. So I think it will be less likely that we get these like comparisons and it has to be either or kind of thing, which I think is good. I think they'll be able to stand on their own without having to be compared to each other. So, oh my god, we've spent 30 minutes talking about Best Picture. We haven't even, goodness gracious.
Well, everything connects to it. So.
It does, but I mean, I just kind of really want to jump to Best Actress because that's how it is. That's how we do at AwardsWatch. I'm kind of happy that there's a lot of crossover too of lead actresses in Best Picture. Not a whole lot. It's still a male field, but it's, there's Brooklyn and Freehold and Suffragette and Carol, Joy. There's a lot of possibility there. And let me pull up the actress field for us. And Nathaniel, I know you didn't have your actress predictions up quite yet, but
right. So what it will be, it's posting today.
Uh-huh.
So by the time you will have seen it, by the time I have Julianne Moore, Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, and Emily Blunt, and for the last spot, I'm debating between Saoirse Ronan and Carey Mulligan.
Okay, awesome.
And then in my second tier, I have Jennifer Lawrence, Lily Tomlin, Marianne Cotillard, and Kate Winslet.
And Kate Winslet
for The Dressmaker.
Oh, wow, okay. For Okay, the thing that I wanted to ask you about is really more category placement stuff, and the main person I think we'll be talking about for quite a bit of the year is Alicia Vikander, and whether she will be lead or supporting for the Danish Girl. And once once Focus figures that out themselves, things will get a little bit easier. I know right now with the Gold Rush Gang, the majority of people have her in supporting, and now as of just this afternoon, she's up to number 2. She's really, really high.
I have her at number 1 currently.
I know,
but I would put her. If I were assuming Best Actress, I would put her in the nominee field as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have her on both sides, and she has votes on both sides. I have her in lead.
I mean, if the story is what I've heard, it's probably a lead performance. But it's so early in the year, and we don't really know. Like if her fame is going to take off with how many movies she has coming out.
Yeah, I'm curious. Go ahead, sorry.
No, she's one of those stars that, she has 8 movies coming out this year, if you can believe it. That's literal. And so she's one of these stars that she's unknown enough that if that doesn't all coalesce really quickly, people will think of her as supporting, even if she's lead.
Yeah.
But if any of that breaks out, she would be a lead contender. I'm pretty much certain.
It seems quite similar to Felicity Jones from last year, but this year seems more competitive. So
yeah, she's like Felicity Jones and Jessica Chastain combined with this year. So it's going to be kind of crazy.
Plus, Focus already have Carey Mulligan. So
yeah, exactly, and that's kind of what I was leading to earlier about where Focus is going to be, where they think that their strengths are going to lie, and then also, too, in looking at a makeup of Best Actress, it could be all... Literally, it could be the last 5 winners. Could be the 5 nominees. Which is beyond insane. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not likely, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think that Vikander has a very good shot in lead. She would be, the young one, the ingenue, the Rooney Mara, who was able to get in too. So I just feel like she's the thing that's going to be set aside from a top 5 to be like, oh, okay, but it makes sense. I don't know. And
there's also the possibility that they go do a lead for Freeheld. Because it is obviously a two-hander. So it just, and since The only reason I think that they might risk a dual thing is that it is basically Ellen Page's baby. So it's going to be weird since she's the one who sort of brought it to life if she's suddenly reduced to supporting.
Yeah.
You know, I think of it as kind of her Frida. I remember when Salma Hayek sort of like made that movie happen, and so her nomination was very much about, yay for you and your dream project.
Yeah, like Albert Nobbs, too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could totally see that. And it would actually be kind of interesting that that was flipped and Page did go lead and like more when supporting.
Or they could, try for both. I firmly believe it could happen, but people don't really try, or at least not with the right movie.
Yeah, it's. I think it just makes people too scared. It's a lot easier to get two supporting actresses from the same movie, but not lead as much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me look at our list because again we have a lot of similar things. Everybody has from the Gold Rush Gang. Everyone has Cate Blanchett. Everyone has Jennifer Lawrence. Everyone except one person has Carey Mulligan. I just jumped on the Mulligan train a week ago, and I still have her in number 5. Saoirse Ronan has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. 6 of us have Julianne Moore. 3 of us have Vikander. 4 of us have Meryl Streep. And then 1 person has Sandra Bullock. And that's it. There's no other outliers than that. But this seems to happen a lot, at least within our group for actress, is that it's very rare that we dip outside of like 10 women. And this list gets tighter and tighter and smaller every year. So, I don't know. I feel pretty good that the 10 names that we have, that the top 5 is going to come from there. Unless Emily Blunt can have a really big breakthrough.
Yeah, I mean, but these are also people who are most of them are tested already with the Academy.
Yeah.
And generally, it ends up being slightly different than we see this early. Like, I mean, if you think about it, last year at this time, were people like, that last spot's going to be down between Marianne Cotillard and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. But I mean, that was a pretty reasonable expectation. So,
right? Yeah.
It wasn't too crazy.
Speaking of reasonable expectations, I'm sort of, I'm surprised that less people have Meryl Streep.
I just took her out actually for Carey Mulligan, and I think that's insane, and that she needs to be in there.
I have so often been burned by like predicting against her that I've finally just given up, and I just put her
she should always be like a penciled in number 5 spot, like
right.
Every single year, no matter what it is. It should always be there. I did want to ask you, Nathaniel, about Naomi Watts in Demolition, because I noticed you don't have her in your supporting at all. So are you thinking that she will be lead?
I have her in...
Did I miss it? I thought I did not see her.
I have her in my tier 3 of lead.
Okay.
In lead?
Yes. All right. Yeah.
Lead. Yeah.
She's definitely supporting right here. 100%.
But where do you hear that from?
From people who saw it.
Oh, that have already seen it. Okay.
Yeah, we do have a couple of folks that did see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine too. I'm always less, sure of her prospects than other people are. She does not ever seem to me like an automatic vote, like some actresses do.
No, she doesn't at all. She has to fight tooth and nail to get a nomination. Well, it's funny. Like when I just said that we have only 10, 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 lead actresses have votes. in our group on a list of 55 women. And then I just kind of start working my way down that list and going, all right, well, who can pop out from here? But
a lot of people, if the movies are good.
Sure.
I mean, The Last Face, Charlize Theron.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sean Penn has made movies people liked before.
I would love for that to happen. I think she's great.
Who knows? The Secret in Their Eyes. I know we're supposed to be disdainful of it because it's an American remake, but Oscar really loved the original, so you never know.
I'm curious about the Julia Roberts thing, because I guess they combined two characters to make hers for the American remake.
I mean, if Room comes out and it's critically acclaimed, I could see Brie Larson making a play. Mm-hmm. I don't have her on my list, but it was more like, sometimes you just have to assume, okay, this one I'm going to assume gets pushed back because there's always way too many people to deal with, and so you have to, make those calls.
Yeah. I know we had a few conversations on the AwardsWatch forums about somebody like Lily Tomlin or Maggie Smith, or at least when her movie was still coming out, potentially this year, Sally Field, of being able to kind of secure this older veteran spot that, if you don't count Meryl Streep as that.
Lily Tomlin is so great in Grandma. That's all I have to say about that. So it would be heaven if she could get in.
I just got a message from somebody on Facebook after I posted the predictions, and they're like, "What about Lily Tomlin? Does she have a chance?"
It's such a showcase performance. If it's a small hit, and if Grace and Frankie is huge, I could see that happening. I mean, she's so good in it.
There is a fantastic potential for her to ride the summer on Grace and Frankie to the fall, to the Emmys, and then move into, critic and Oscar talk with Grandma. It's potentially a really, really great path for her.
It sounds like Grace and Frankie's a dud, but...
Well,
where are you hearing that from?
A few of the critics have said that it's... Like, I know Tim Goodman said that it's...
I do love Tim Goodman.
Although, I think great. We'll see soon enough. We'll see Friday.
Yes, yeah, it's very soon. Oh my God, that's right, it's Friday. Yay, that's awesome.
What about Mia Wasikowska for Crimson Peak?
I'm gonna say no.
I am too. I was just noticing that I didn't see her anywhere on your guys' list.
I think we had Jessica Chastain instead, even though it's probably
supporting. I think she's the supporting, and I think Mia's the lead.
Yeah,
from my understanding of the story. But
no. And it's, I
Stephen King thinks it's a great movie, you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. So when he writes his little one-page editorial for Entertainment Weekly, why didn't Mia What's-Her-Face get nominated? I don't know. I just don't see.
Speaking of people who have to fight for a nomination, people keep loving her and things, but she hasn't had any traction anywhere.
No. I know. She had Tracks last year. That might have been, honestly, the closest she could have ever gone.
Tracks was the last year thing.
Yeah. I know Ann Thompson tried to make her happen with that quite for the most of the year.
And she was, I thought she was great in it.
She is great in it. It's a great movie, and she's fantastic in it. But it's... Yeah.
So have any of you seen Grandma?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
So just you have.
I'm telling you, she's great in it.
So it seems like the kind of thing where it would be a sole nomination, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Marcia Gay Harden is absolutely great in it too, but she has a very small part.
And what do...
They're handling it like Love is Strange, with an August release date, opening up LA Film Fest, and taking it to Tribeca.
Right.
Hope it doesn't get lost early on.
Yeah, it's showier than that though. But yeah, they are handling it the same way.
An actress.
So yeah, it could be a very minor thing. I'm sorry, what?
I said actress is way less competitive as well. Like, it wasn't happening last year.
Just depends if they take Elizabeth Olsen in I Saw the Light and make her lead in their big play, if the movie's a big hit too.
Yeah, I know you're pretty high on that, and Nathaniel, you're high on Elizabeth Olsen as well, and Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah,
I feel completely straight up yes on Tom Hiddleston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also I think some, but you go to the Oscar like lunches and stuff here in New York, and so sometimes when you see the way people work rooms and you sort of change your feeling about why certain people get nominated. I know it sounds shallow, but there are actors who are very, very good at schmoozing. Oh, yeah. And Elizabeth Olsen is a complete natural. Like when she was doing her campaign for Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, she was just adorable.
Yeah.
Talking to everybody, and she's so sweet, and like I could see if she gives a performance in a movie they like, I could see it happening fairly easily.
I want that to be true. I hope it is. I'm a big fan of hers. I think she's.
I think she could have gotten more traction from Martha, Marcy, May, and Marlene if it wasn't such a strange movie. I mean, it was a great movie, but for Oscar, it was very strange.
Yeah, I know. At least at AwardsWatch, there was a lot of predictions for her. Very, very much close to the end. Even when it was clear that she wasn't getting any other kind of industry support. But that's too bad. I really do like her. Godzilla and Avengers aside. People need to pay rent. I'm totally okay with that. All right. Have we exhausted?
I'm okay with it unless it's Laura Linney and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then I have to draw the line.
Okay, yes to that, but I suppose if you're going to replace Megan Fox, then I'm sort of okay with that. Then I'm like, okay, so it's a step up.
Not for Laura Linney.
Okay, yes, maybe. She's probably making like 10 times what she would normally make. Like the daily rate is probably better than what her daily rate would be in a normal film. Do we want to peek over into actor a little bit? I think we kind of should, after just talking a little bit about Tom Hiddleston. And this is a pretty stiff category, as it often is for actor. Nathaniel, I'm gonna bring up yours really quick and see who you have, or you could just tell me.
I don't even have it up on screen.
Okay, I have it.
Just a second. Okay.
So you have Tom Hiddleston, Bryan Cranston, Eddie Redmayne, Leonardo Dicaprio, and Michael Fassbender, which is a pretty good list. I think a lot of us did have Cranston in for Trumbo, but then there was a test screening pretty recently that went pretty poorly, and a lot of people just vacated their predictions of him.
Well, apparently it was good, but just not an Oscar player.
Yes, yeah. So like now I think
Golden Globes.
Yeah, I think one person has from the Gold Rush King has him still in. So I'm curious to see if Cranston's going to try and get that EGOT.
It's definitely baity. Like,
yeah, it's hugely baity. A lot is when you look at like the top 10 performance roles for this year. They're extremely baity. So, is this going to be, though, another year that Leonardo DiCaprio has to stand up and clap for somebody else for
Probably
3 months?
Yeah.
Again?
Probably.
I'm sorry. I don't feel bad for him.
I don't. I'm not saying I feel bad for him at all. But it's almost like every year where he seems like, oh, this is going to be the role and this is the thing. Somebody else just comes in and just completely pulls that rug from him. He's like the Charlie Brown of the Oscars. And it's not like he has 7 nominations and he's lost. I mean, he's not Peter O'Toole, but it's just... It seems like there's always so much hype and hope for him, and it just crashes down. Mm-hmm. So I wonder, too, if this movie will be just too... I don't know, too much. Too violent, too ugly, too something.
And a little too late, maybe, if they don't hurry it up, because more shooting in July, right?
Yes, after that Tom Hardy interview where they have to go back and do reshoots this summer.
Well, it would be nice if it vacated the year because, I mean, I personally freaking loved Birdman, but I'm not really looking forward to all the Iñárritu haters having a back-to-back thing they have to worry about.
Yeah.
I'd rather a little distance between the two movies.
Absolutely agree with you because, talk about think pieces. It'll be thunk pieces because there's going to be a lot because all the boyhood lovers are going to come at him with knives this year.
Well, the news from today sounds like it's not even going to be wrapped until July, so
yeah,
I'm not even sure if it's going to be finished in time.
I would love for it to get pushed to summer.
I think they'll get it out, but I feel like we could be looking at like a dragon tattoo situation where like it misses SAG, possibly, like Django too.
Yeah, it seems like it's just going to be really, really late. That's going to be a really fast turnaround. It won't be able to hit, it won't be doing any type of festival circuit. It just, I don't know.
Because Joy's already wrapped, so 20th Century can already focus on that.
True. That is true. Let's talk about my favorite subject, and I'm sure you can guess what that might be. It's Jake Gyllenhaal. He's got 3 movies this year, one of which seems like a realistic Oscar contender. The other 2 a little more, maybe not popcorn, but less serious. Not that kind of movie. But it seems like it should and could all help him. Southpaw is a summer movie. I don't anticipate that it's going to be an Oscar play for him, but I do think the Demolition will be.
I keep hearing Demolition is comic. I keep hearing Demolition leans comedy.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, which makes me nervous about.
Apparently, it's quite dark comedy.
Yeah, we had a couple of people at AwardsWatch see it, and they were a little hesitant on it as well, of how it's going to play, and that the tone is kind of uncomfortable.
Didn't people compare it to Silver Linings Play?
Yes, like a darker Silver Linings Play.
Like that sort of tone. I don't know.
Which to me sounds great. And it's Fox Searchlight, and it's Jean-Marc Vallée, and I look at that and I'm like, okay, this feels like a slam dunk. And I'm just hoping that there is enough regret for people of not giving him a nomination for Nightcrawler, which was the stupidest thing that's ever happened in the history of the world. There may be a little bit of hyperbole in that.
The only reason I was considering taking him out is because of the whole youth thing. I'm not really sure what to do with Michael Caine yet.
Yeah, me neither. I'm waiting.
Yeah, Michael Caine could be a pretty serious factor. I don't know.
And Harvey Keitel as well, and supporting actor.
None of you voted for Johnny Depp in Black Mask. Black Mass. I always say mask.
Mask. No, and I guess I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, once the trailer came out, I thought maybe I would have seen a little bit of like reactionary changes, and nobody did. Nobody bit.
I do think if that performance had arrived a few years earlier, people would have been very certain it was going to get play.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if people are kind of taking him that seriously. I mean, you have him like on your third tier. I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but I questioned myself a little once because I'd made that chart before the trailer hit. Mm-hmm. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, yeah, that could happen for him. Because people, like, even though people don't take him seriously at this point, he is an enormous star. So it doesn't take much when you're that famous for people to get excited about you again, even if they currently hate you.
Yeah, I mean, I in looking at your breakdown, I could even see him in the second tier ahead of Fassbender in Macbeth and McKellen.
And Jake Gyllenhaal in Southpaw?
No. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
I just hope everyone's wrong and we get like Warren Beatty for his Howard Hughes project.
Good Lord.
I love Warren Beatty. I'm sorry. I'm like the last one remaining.
That would be insane. It would be kind of awesome, though. Oh my goodness.
He's been gone for so long, but I grew up loving him, Dick Tracy, and
I love Dick Tracy
and Bulworth and all that stuff. I love him.
Yes. No shade to Warren Beatty at all. I love him. I think he's fantastic. But he might want to at least get a title for his movie pretty soon.
Right.
Maybe
that would help. That would help.
Just a suggestion. Nathaniel, do you think that Fassbender is really going to be competing too much with himself, or it seems Steve Jobs is an easier pick?
His problem is not that he makes a lot of movies, it's that he doesn't like to campaign.
Yes, that's true.
He's
not a schmoozer.
I mean, he's very charming in person, but he doesn't want to try to shake every hand to get votes,
He's no Eddie Redmayne.
As was very clear, when he, after the shame year.
Yeah. I know he was pretty peeved about that. Okay. Since we are talking about Best Actor, and one of the reasons we switched over here was because of Tom Hiddleston. So he's doing Hank Williams. It's Sony Pictures. There isn't a release date yet, but I don't think it matters at all.
On paper, he could be the winner.
Yes.
Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely. The same way that Redmayne felt like a winner on paper, even before a lick of film was seen.
Which is sad.
I know.
I'm sorry, but it is. You really should have to prove yourself, but, they like what they like.
And that's
I don't really know why I'm not predicting him.
I don't know. Why are you not predicting him?
I might take out Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh my god. Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. Well, obviously the worst thing to happen would be for Bradley Cooper to get in again ahead of Jake Gyllenhaal. That would break my heart. Like, you guys I would have to give up at that point.
Yeah, I have a small bone to pick with you guys about the Bradley Cooper thing.
Okay.
So I'm looking at your chart, and I'm noticing he got a lot of votes for this film called Adam Jones. And so at first I was like, why does that sound vaguely familiar? And then I realized it's because Alicia Vikander's in it, and I love her, and I was, researching her the other day. But John Wells does not make good movies. So, why would this one, a contemporary drama about a chef, why are people so gung-ho for him to get nominated for it?
I think the reason why is because of the type of character that he is, and drug addiction, and with Bradley Cooper's own issues with drug addiction in the past, which he's been very open about. It's going to converge and will be very easy for him to talk about during press junket stuff. And it seems almost too easy for me to...
Plus the script is fantastic. Like, this isn't Jon Favreau Chef 2.0. Like,
yeah.
As long as John Wells doesn't screw it up, like...
Yeah, I mean, I even have the movie getting it. John Wells not.
I'm pretty sure David Fincher was originally linked to the film. Like,
jeez,
I'm not sure why it ended up with Wells, but the script's great. Like,
yeah, I think you're thinking of the other Pawn Sacrifice, the other one, right?
I'm sure it was linked to
later. I mean, with David Fincher attached.
It's another reteaming with Sienna Miller too.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But
plus the cast's great. It has pretty big commercial prospects, I'd say, as well.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason I have it in Best Picture. Is I think that it's going to be a really big box office hit. I just do.
Like, Harvey's opening wide straight away, isn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is rare with an awards contender with them.
Yeah, I think it has just such great potential. So
I've been so burned by John Wells, I can't even think about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm like honestly like completely removing him as a factor, like completely.
I mean, he's still got Meryl Streep and Julia Roberts nominated.
Yeah,
right, but I could get them nominated.
Yeah, he didn't get them nominated, but yeah.
But the character that Bradley Cooper's playing, it doesn't sound like he actually needs to do that much with this one either.
Yeah. But I do feel like however he plays it, it's going to be like, oh, I've seen this Bradley Cooper performance before. I just feel like it's going to be, not a game changer by any means, but an easy thing for people to pick.
Well, I know a few of the people on the forum have been talking about it as like a potential winning vehicle for him. I'm not sure about that.
Goodness gracious. Well, he did just get the Tony nomination. Again, instead of Jake Gyllenhaal. This has been a horrible year. I just can't even tell you. It's tragic. Oh my goodness gracious. So, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. I know you've got him on your second tier, Nathaniel, and most of us don't have really we don't feel very high on him either. And obviously the Captain Phillips snub is still echoing pretty loudly, and must be.
My theory on the Captain Phillips thing is it was just an unlucky few votes, just like Jake Gyllenhaal in Experience this year, and David Oyelowo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that's it was probably
like I don't think that was people
close.
Resisting him. I just think it was too crowded.
It was too crowded and too close. Yeah, I agree.
And he wasn't campaigning.
True. Yeah, didn't he ask Columbia to not campaign for him?
Yeah, he was just campaigning for his co-star.
Yeah, and not to do FYCs or anything. What do we think about Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Which film?
Well, about either film. I mean, I'm pretty sure Oliver Stone can turn his movie around pretty quickly, and that'll give him two movies by the end of the year. But I don't know. He seems like someone that kind of could get a first-time nomination. It seems almost not easy, but he just seems like the kind of guy to get one.
See, I feel the opposite. Actually, I just don't think he's the type of actor that they're going to be eager to reward. I like him, but
I mean, but is it for any?
I just don't see it.
Okay.
Is the role even that baity? Like, I just see this as a commercial vehicle for Sony. The walk, that is.
Yeah, it seems super baity. He gets to have an accent. He's in a, film version of an Oscar-winning documentary. It just, I don't know. It just kind of feels like it could be.
Actor tender Sony. They have Will Smith in Concussion.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even though he might not happen, I'm just saying they're going to focus on Will Smith over Levitt, probably for the walk.
Didn't you have Will Smith in your top 5?
Yeah, you're not predicting him anymore.
No, I gave up until once Tom Hiddleston came in.
Yes.
That was my 5.
I remember that short. Was it like a week that you had him in?
It's my top 10, but
yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. God, what else do we have? I feel kind of bad for Don Cheadle. I feel like his Miles Davis biopic is going to get completely lost.
No distributor.
Yeah,
probably not very good.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be one of these things that needs to play a festival, and if someone picks it up, people will take it seriously.
Yeah, but I'll be really surprised if it's anything more than like Sundance Selects or Roadside. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And as great as it might be, he looks good. I think it could be great.
Yeah, he also directed it. Which I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to say whether or not that pisses people off or not when actors direct themselves. It's sort of hit and miss.
In what seems or feels like a very, baity biopic kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I
like if Leonardo DiCaprio, directed himself after everybody feels he's so greedy for an Oscar,
yeah.
I think people would be suspicious.
I think it would be great. And whatever the movie's about, the title should be just called Thirsty. That would be awesome. I would love that. Goodness. There's really not much else in looking at this list. George Clooney and Money Monster, if that even comes out this year, maybe.
My feeling on that is if it does come out, it's the Oscar play will.
Yeah, it doesn't feel,
because it's like a showy villain part.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
And you can get nominated.
Sorry,
that's okay. I didn't really have anything important to say.
What was your question?
Sorry.
What are your thoughts on Fassbender and Jobs? I know our forum's a lot more skeptical of it.
I haven't predicted now, but it's the one I'm least happy about when I'm looking at my chart.
Yeah. I think I'm one of the few that does not have him, right?
I don't have him.
No, I don't. Oh, no, only 5 of us do.
So now I'm thinking I was wrong to not pay attention to this John Wells movie, and I will resent all of you for it afterwards.
I'm just worried about him getting...
Speaking of schmoozing, you guys, Bradley Cooper is super good at it.
Yes, he is. Exactly.
I went to this breakfast thing with him this year for American Sniper, and it was really small. There was like 20 people or something.
Wow.
And he was like one of these people who walks into the room, and I mean, of course he's the only big star in the room, but it was also like he just like owned every conversation, like he was like performing basically. Yeah. He was very charming.
Yeah, I don't doubt it for a minute. I don't. He's good, and you're absolutely right that you can't underestimate the importance of that, especially when you're talking about people that are doing the voting. they want their pictures with the celebrities just as much as any fan on the street does. It's not that different.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see the impact of that being very real.
Yeah, at the thing I went to, he was telling this story about Robert De Niro to this group of like 5 reporters or whatever, and he was acting it out, because he's like a performer, as I said, and he, like, one of the reporters that he was talking to, he actually was pretending he was Bradley Cooper and that he was Robert De Niro. The Bradley Cooper was Robert De Niro, so the guy across from him was him. And he actually hugged him at one point as part of acting out the story for us. And the guy afterwards was so shamelessly excited that Bradley Cooper had just hugged him during this. I thought he's going to tell this story until he dies.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think a lot of us that have any type of access to this kind of thing have a little bit of that too. It's very difficult to be completely objective of that, and especially if it's say if it's somebody that you really like, and
right,
you think that the 30-second conversation you had means way more than it actually did, and it certainly does to you versus to the person that you just had it with.
I just think it's worth noting because even if you're very professional about those things, you can, however, the person, when you have these like tiny exchanges with them, the people who are really good at it can make a huge impression in that amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, especially when they only have that amount of time, and they have to. That's the game. Yeah. Oh my God! Enough about Bradley Cooper. Goodness.
You'd rather be hugged by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Are you kidding me? I would just like disappear like the Wicked Witch. I'd be just gone. It would destroy me. But like in the best way possible. So God help him if it ever happens that I'm in like the same room as him. I mean, I will act a fool. I know it. I'll need a Xanax or like 3.
Yeah, you have to be careful around the people that you feel that way about.
Exactly.
I did meet Michelle Pfeiffer once, and I was completely terrified the whole time. Because she is like my favorite star of my life, and people in the room were fully aware of this, and so I could feel eyes on me. So I was trying to be a normal person, and I was not succeeding very well.
That's awesome. No, I will say, whenever I have been in this situation that I have maintained decorum like nobody's business, and I don't even like do like can I take a picture with you that much. It always depends on the situation, for sure. If it's the kind of thing where they're there to promote something and you can take then it's fine. But I'm generally pretty. I try to be as respectful as possible.
Of course,
to the situation. Even with Nicole Kidman, oh my God, and that was really difficult.
I have not met her. I've just talked to her on the phone, but I have not met her.
She was amazing. I thought she was fantastic and super nice. And, well, to me, I loved her. I thought she was fantastic. But anyway, my God. So, Jason, you wanted to chat about something really quick that you had just messaged me to.
Silence.
Yes.
First photo. And Paramount has nothing on their slate besides Linklater's latest.
Yes. This is I'm really, really curious about this too. Because there was all those set pictures that came from that, Japanese website, and you're like, oh, okay, so everything's grainy and weird looking. But there is actually an official still. And some of the times that can be enough to set everybody just like on fire as to any type of awards potential or any potential but we have no idea if it's could even make it this year or not. And I think we just saw what happened last year when Paramount tries to rush a film and it backfires on them.
It would have been so perfect for them this year. They have nothing.
Yeah.
Paramount really screwed up. They could have had Selma as a Best Picture winner this year, and then they'd have the Silence and The Big Short next year. Like, they'd have been set up perfectly.
Yeah, I'm always so curious about how some of these decisions are made, because what seems, easy to us, obviously we aren't privy to 90% of the information that, they're putting together to release something or when, and I don't know. It just seems so basic.
Well, but we also have the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, true.
I mean, Selma seemed like a good play in general.
Yeah. Last
year, things went wrong in the sort of rollout.
Yeah, but I mean, even if that had like just even 2 weeks ahead of what it was, it would have been an entirely different story.
Yeah. And if it had hit the festival circuit, it'd have probably won Best Picture.
Yeah, that even more. That even more. It was and that was a great example of a movie that seemed on paper to everything about it was hitting the right things at the right time. Between the 50th anniversary of the march and just the level of violence against African Americans in this country now. Everything about it was like gelling. Like this is the right thing at the right time. But all it was a couple of weeks of not being able to press DVDs that basically sunk the movie. And it's crazy that happened. But at least it was a good sized box office hit.
Yeah, people didn't really notice that, but it did better than Boyhood or Birdman.
Oh yeah, it cracked 50 million. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was super happy for that. But I mean that plays into just Paramount's lack of agility in navigating their Oscar campaigns right now.
And yet the year before they had Nebraska and The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep. But that almost felt like luck. Because Wolf of Wall Street could have completely just gone nowhere, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so could Nebraska. I think they did a good job that year.
Yeah, Nebraska at least had the advantage of the Cannes Film Festival,
and they worked that Bruce Stern thing for all they could.
Oh my goodness, yes they did. The Dern-Ladd family are serious about their Oscar nominations. They are serious, which is why I cannot wait till Diane Ladd gets one, and they can have one each of the last 3 years.
That would be wonderful.
It would be beyond wonderful. It would be superb. I know we're getting close to an hour and a half, and I want to, keep it nice and tight so that people can actually listen to this on a single sitting and not be asking when Volume 2 comes out. But is there any, since we've kind of just talked around the Cannes Film Festival this year, is there anything that you guys want to mention or think we should be looking at seriously?
I heard Louder Than Bombs has a lot of good buzz right now.
It does. I have heard that.
I hear,
well.
Yeah. So I
haven't
wouldn't
really talked about
Sony Pictures Classics takes that. It feels like that sort of film distributor would take.
He's such a great director.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about Inside Out yet, which I know is a favorite of yours, Jason.
Oh, yeah. I guess we could. We could. But I'm going to hold off on that. I want to hold off on that and get canned conversation, because there won't be another podcast until after the festival, and we can talk about Inside Out after that. But, yeah, I think Louder Than Bombs, Son of Saul, Tale of Tales, I'm super interested. I'm really excited to see if that how that plays, because it looks amazing. I don't know, but Jason, you are going to the Cannes Film Festival this year.
Yeah.
So I've been a couple of times. Nathaniel, have you been to the?
I have not. No.
And Chris, have you?
No.
Okay. So what do you, Jason? I'm sure you're super excited for one.
Yeah.
But what are you looking most forward to seeing, and how are you managing everything that's playing?
I won't be able to see as much as I want to because I'll be working, but I'm going to try to see The Lobster, Louder Than Bombs, Tale of Tales, Assassin, Youth, Son of Saul, Green Room. I've already seen Carol, so I don't have to worry about that.
True. Okay.
But yeah. Oh, I heard a lot of good buzz on the director Fortnite movie, The Hereafter.
Okay.
So.
That's a good.
Keep eyes on.
Yeah, that's a good list. That's a lot. Some people don't get through everything. I try and get through every in-competition film, but sometimes, you want to venture out into a midnight screening or the certain regard and Director's Fortnight and all that stuff too.
I'm looking forward to Gaspar Noé's Love at midnight.
My goodness.
Can't wait.
I'll tell you right now, because every time there's a midnight screening for something, it's always the biggest madhouse, and it's often the hardest ticket to get. So
yeah,
I expect the Quazette that night to be an absolute crazy shit show. It'll be nuts. I mean, just the anticipation for the movie will be really, really huge. But it always is. It looks like a rave.
Yeah, 3 hours, 3D. No.
Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be fun.
If it's anything like the posters, it should be quite something.
In 3D.
In 3D, yeah. You're going to need, like, your Gallagher raincoats or something.
Dress appropriately.
Dress appropriately, exactly. Well, I mean, that sounds like a good list, and definitely when you're back from the festival, I want to make sure and bend your ear so that we can chat about things on the next podcast. And then we can talk about Inside Out, Chris. Is that okay?
I feel like most jumped on board with that.
Yeah, I don't think
No one has him in director yet, though.
Nobody?
I know it has to have a
Jason does. Jason has him at number 5.
I'm just going to hold on to it and see what happens.
That's all right. I don't even think... Yeah, only me and Jackie don't have Inside Out in our Best Picture predictions. Everybody else does.
Really?
Yes. Jason has it at number 1.
Just because I think it's the most likely to be nominated, not that it's going to win.
No. I read your justification of that just before the podcast.
Okay.
And that was, that's fine. I know we tease you a lot.
Pixar getting a Best Picture nomination are over, but that's just
The Good Dinosaur was winning
so.
Best Picture this year.
It is over. What's that, Chris?
I said I thought The Good Dinosaur was winning Best Picture this year.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God. Yes. I'm going to have a conversation about that. Goodness, that was... Oh. Yeah, anyway. Anyway, no, that's all right. All right. I think that's good. I think I feel pretty good. We got just a little bit and a lot covered. I'm super, super happy and glad that you could join us, Nathaniel. I really, really appreciated you being able to be a part of this.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Indeed. And Jason, enjoy your time at the Cannes Film Festival, and we definitely look forward to updates and crazy tweets and what the midnight screening of Love is going to be like. So
definitely
that should be fun. And Chris, thank you very much as well. And
Sorry.
I think we'll sign off for now. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.